back to Baseball Pros Academy's online hitting school. The first lesson you had taught you about body control and the importance of having it throughout your swing. To create swing plane, to stay to the ball and through the ball. In order to do that, having stabilizer muscles that will keep you in a good position to hit. You're going to hear that a lot, get in a good position to hit. Before I can really get into bat control, I want to stress getting in a good position to hit. Most swings are lost for two reasons. Number one, I'm not in that good position to hit on time. And number two, I lose the barrel on my first move to the ball. If you take a look at some swings of your kids or the players that you work with, take notice of how their swings break down. And you'll see sometimes they're not ready in time and they jump. You'll see when they are ready in time, they make this move right here and they lose their barrel. I see it all the time. High school games, travel ball games, 10U, 11U, I see it all the time. I see players not in a good position to hit on time and then losing their barrel upon approach. So, in order for us to really have bat control and to be able to control the barrel, we have to master the hitting position. We have to master the balance beam position that we took you through in the first lesson. You're going to hear me say that a lot throughout this process. Get in a balance beam position, okay? And then when we separate or we load, like we do on that beam and hold, that's the launching position. That's where we make our next move to the baseball. And we do that through bat control. So we've established that I have to be in a good position to hit on time. And we'll talk about what on time is a little bit later on in this process. But we know that we need to get to that balance beam position of balance and load, and right here to the launching position where I'm getting ready to fire. Now from here, the next move I make can win or lose me the battle to that precious spot out in front of home plate. Most swings are lost right there. When a guy does get there on time, you'll see this move. So my first move to the ball, and listen to me clearly, needs to be down. Now you hear swing down at it, swing down at it. I don't want players to swing down at the ball, but your first move that you make to the ball to get you on plane, we talked about swing plane earlier, to get you on plane has to be from the launching position down. If I take my first movement and I do this, there's no chance I have to beat the pitcher to the spot. If my first movement, my hands go away from my body, that's a long way to go to beat the pitcher to the spot on that pitch right there. But if my first movement takes me right here, I get into that strong position where I can beat the pitcher to the spot, and look at my palm up on contact. Look how I can drive through the baseball and create that position again that we were doing with those balance beams. Our first move to the ball is essential to becoming a good hitter. Once you master this position, it's going to take you your whole life. It's going to be a continuous process. The ball's coming at you and moving, and you're teaching your body to stay there and stabilize. Your brain's telling you, get out of the way. We got to train our body to keep us there. Once we learn our body control to keep us in position, then we have to master that first move to the ball. Taking it down. Taking our knob, our pinky, whatever you want to call it, your first movement, your first 3 inches has got to go down. Now what that'll do, when you go to approach, your bat will flatten out, and then you have the best chance to get on plane with the ball and stay on plane with the ball all the way through your swing. That goes for a fastball away that I want to hit as a left-handed hitter to left field, or even up the middle. I stride separate, I get into that position. My first movement needs to come down. And again, look at my front side, how it's not leaking or opening off the ball. Look how my backside is rotating to and through the baseball, just like we simulated on that balance beam. But that first move of my hands is right down to the baseball. Take on a fastball in, take a look at that. I stride separate, I get into that position. My first movement comes down, my bat flattens out, palm up, palm down at contact, and then we have extension through the ball, balance beam position as we worked on earlier. Take a fastball inside. You hear this all the time. Turn on the ball. Show me how you turn on that ball, son. But not enough of us have taught these guys really how to turn on it correctly. You want to turn on it with your hands. You want to beat the pitcher to the spot on an inside pitch. And notice my first movement, down. My backside is rotating with me. My front side is stable and under control. I'm palm up, palm down at contact. I've beat the pitcher to the spot, and now I can have an easy home run depending on my bat speed and the speed of the pitch. The next piece of bat control, once you establish your first move to the ball and that you are getting on plane and staying on plane, in order to drive the ball over somebody's head, and get what's called backspin, get the ball to really move and jump, you have to get to a point of your swing called extension. That is the ultimate goal. That is the Cinderella's castle of hitting, is basically getting to extension every time you swing the bat. This is what extension looks like. I'll show it to you in slow motion. Right there. It's about 5 feet on an average 6-foot male from the end of the bat to the end of my shoulders. That's extension. All right? If I go backwards and I have contact right here on an outside pitch, the ball has left my bat and I've gotten to extension, and my body has stayed strong and I've maintained myself so I can get backspin on the baseball and it can fly. A lot of people think that to hit the ball over somebody's head, they have to try and lift. And that's where we lose our barrel right away. All right? And I lose swing plane and I can't get it back once I lose it. Once that first movement takes me this way and my hand path leaves, I've lost all bat control and I'm in a lot of trouble. Foul ball is all I can hope for. All right? We don't want foul balls. We don't want to miss fastballs. We want to knock the snot out of fastballs with backspin right back up the box as much as we can. In order to do that, we have to create a bat path that'll get us to extension consistently. A lot of swings of young men are cut off all the time. I see it happen constantly. They get on plane pretty good, but then something happens and they leak off plane. Or they get there and they leak this way, and then there's no extension. We have to teach our hitters to get to extension, to drive through the baseball and to create this position. We do it on the balance beams, as far as holding there and then feeling that position. And when we talk about bat path and talk about swing path and getting to extension, you take guys through drills. And these drills can include a walk-through tee drill where we really feel ourselves getting through the ball and get to extension. It's essential in bat control. Not just your first move, but then A to B is important. It's real important. You got to get on swing plane, you got to deliver the barrel. It's a must. In order to do that, I have to have a short path. My first move has to be down. We've established that. We know where to beat the pitcher to the spot. Now how do we get the ball to fly? Thanks for asking. Inside pitch, boom, beat the guy at the spot, extension through the ball. Middle, beat the guy at the spot, extension through the ball. These drills can be done on a tee with soft toss, putting the player in those positions and getting them to maintain swing plane throughout their stroke.